writer Custer wrote in the Cherokee Phoenix, 12,000 cases of cervical cancer are reported annually, and 100% of those cases are caused by human papillomavirus, or HPV. This statistic might not come as a surprise to you because of all the focus around young women getting vaccinated against HPV. But did you know that 40% of all penile cancer is also caused by HPV? There is debate about whether or not men should be required to receive the HPV vaccine. And I'm here today to tell you that they should. We'll start by looking at what HPV is, and then go into how HPV affects both men and women. Custer also wrote that HPV is the most common sexually transmitted disease, and it can be transferred from one person to another via sexual intercourse, oral sex, or even just by genitals touching. Because of the methods of transferring it, it can be found in the mouth, throat, and on the genitals. Fontenot and Morlock wrote in the article, HPV in men is a women's health issue, that there are 150 different strands of HPV, and there are 4 that are most detrimental to our health. Strains 16 and 18 are the strands that cause a combined 70% of cervical and anal cancers, and strains 6 and 11 cause genital, anal, and oral warts. 50% of all men and women will at some point in their life be infected with the HPV virus. Baldwin et al. Wrote in the Journal of Infectious Disease that HPV is an overwhelmingly subclinical disease in men that is asymptomatic and causes carriers to become reservoirs and vectors for the disease. In layman's terms, this basically means that because men do not show signs and symptoms of the virus, there are a very large number of carriers for this disease that go undetected. And this can be a problem for women because they don't know if their partner is carrying this disease and can transfer it to them. This leads me into why men should be required to receive the HPV vaccine. The journal Pharmacy Times wrote in 2011 that men are more likely to transfer the disease than women because there's no way for them to be tested and there's no symptoms. And so basically the disease goes undetected. There are, however, 2 vaccines for HPV. One is Cervarix and the other is Gardasil. And Gardasil has been clinically proven and accepted to be used in both men and women. Gardasil has been shown to prove that it can protect against the spreading of the disease, and Pharmacy Times also writes that it can protect up to 90% of genital warts cases and most anal cancer cases. Now, some people don't believe that it's very cost effective for men to be required to receive the vaccines, but O'Connor and O'Connor wrote in the International Journal of STD and AIDS that it actually is more cost effective when you compare it to the cost of getting health treatments for genital warts, anal warts, or any type of cancer that HPV can cause. Mosicki and Polewski wrote in the Journal of Lower Genital Tract Disease that of a random placebo-controlled trial in which men were given the Gardasil vaccine, and there was a 79% decrease in HPV-16 and a 96% decrease in HPV-18. And if you recall from earlier in the speech, Those are the two strands of cancer, or of HPV, that cause cancer. So basically, if men get the vaccine, there could be a lower cancer rate caused by HPV, and the spreading of HPV will be minimalized. As you can see, HPV affects both men and women. If men are required to get the HPV vaccine, there will be a lesser likelihood of them getting these diseases that are caused by HPV, and they will also lower the risk of women receiving and getting infected with HPV. My challenge to you is to talk to people you know and get men vaccinated. Thank you.